In this lesson, we're going to be taking a look at how to understand algebraic expressions. Remember that an algebraic expression has three parts: a variable, in other words, a letter that stands for a number, a numerical coefficient, which is connected to that letter in some way, and a constant term, a number that never changes. So, we can write phrases of information using these letters to show numbers. And these are called expressions. For example, what if I have the letter N? The letter N can be any number. It can be 5, 7, 9, or 22, or 10,019. It doesn't matter. Right now, we don't know what that number is. We just know that that letter stands for something. And let's just say that we have that number and we want to add 3 to that number. How would you write that without knowing what that number is? Well, quite simply, you would take the number and add 3 to it. We said that the number is represented by n. So if we have n, and I say that I want to add 3 to the number, well, then I have my number n, and I'm going to add 3. So n plus 3. Well, what happens if I have n, and I want to subtract 3 from that number? How would you write that? Well, you would go ahead and take that number and once again subtract 3 from that number. Okay, so we can subtract numbers from our variables, our letters here, and that's how you would show that. These would be examples of algebraic expressions. But what happens if we need to do multiplication and division? And this is where it gets a little bit trickier, and you have to wrap your head around it, that any time we do algebra with multiplication and division, we have to write it a certain way. So let's just say that I've got my number, which is n, and I want to multiply it by 3. Now, you would think that you would go n times 3, and normally that would be correct, except that in algebra we always show it a certain way. In algebra, we always show them squished together. So anytime you're showing algebra multiplication, you're going to be showing the number and the letters squished together. 3n. 3n means the exact same thing as n times 3. Okay, so we know we've got adding, we know we've got subtracting, we know we've got multiplication. What about division? Well, division works the same kind of way, and that it's unique. We have to always do it a certain way. We start with n, and let's say this time we're dividing by 3. We always show division in algebra using a fraction. N divided by 3. Show it as a fraction. Here are some more examples. Here we have 4 options of possible questions that you may have when doing these kinds of questions and trying to figuring out algebraic expression. So let's say that the number is always going to be n. It can be any letter. It can be p, it can be z, it doesn't matter. But let's just say that we're going to use n. So the number is the same thing as n. Okay, so I've got 6 more than a number. Here's that key word. Number. N. How many more than that number do we have? 6. So how would you write that? The number plus 6 more. What about a number multiplied by 8? So there's your number again. A number multiplied by 8. And how did we show multiplication again? Remember that we squish the number together with the letter. So 8n, a number multiplied by 8. A number decreased by 6. The word decreased means to take away or get smaller, which means we're going to do what? Subtract. So you've got a number decreased by 6. Or a number divided by 4. A number, remember that we show it as a fraction, divided by 4. These are all examples of algebraic expressions. We can also have 2-part expressions where you're doing 2 separate things, such as adding and multiplying, subtracting, dividing, subtracting, so on and so forth. Here are some examples of how you would work on these. Let's read these ones together. Double a number and add 3. Or divide a number by 7 and then add 6. Let's always start with that number, n. What are we doing to the number? We're doubling it. How do we double something? We multiply by 2. So if I'm doubling a number, I'm going to go times 2. So that gets rid of the first part here. What do we have to do then? Add 3 plus 3. So double the number, 2 and add 3 plus 3. Two-part equation. We're multiplying and we're adding. What about this next one? Here's your number. What are we doing to the number? Divide the number by 7. So the number divided by 7 gets rid of the first section. Then what do? Add 6. So again, we've got a number divided by 7, add 6. This would be 2 examples of two-part equations. If you have any questions, please ask. And this is how you can wrap your head around understanding algebraic expressions.